After my death, I learned that our views were incorrect. Once deeply devoted to running, I found myself syncing with life's rhythms with every step. Yet, my passion unexpectedly took its toll. The repetitive strain and occasional injuries from running gradually wore down my joints, eventually leading to arthritis. Enduring constant leg pain made even the simplest tasks feel like daunting obstacles. Despite trying various treatments fruitlessly, I turned to prayer and the comforting verses of the Bible. When surgery emerged as the only solution, I relied on my family for support and found solace in my faith. On the day of the surgery, an unusual tranquility surrounded me, catching the attention of the observant nurse. As I braced for the operation, a sense of calm rooted in my faith and the hope of relief filled me. As the anesthesia took effect in the operating theater, my consciousness began to fade. Soon, discomfort and irregular heartbeats signaled potential complications. Despite my attempts to stay alert, fear consumed me as I grappled with the situation. In that pivotal moment, I prayed for swift resolution to restore normalcy. Suddenly, all was silent and my pain dissolved. Upon opening my eyes, I found myself floating above my hospital room, witnessing the commotion below. Drifting through the hospital corridors, I observed a tense exchange between two doctors, one clad in a distinctive black jacket. Though the details eluded me, I felt compelled to forge ahead, leaving the hospital behind and traversing the city with an unusual swiftness, noting the absence of the typical breeze. Eventually, I arrived in a vast expanse, swiftly moving until a small, radiant light emerged ahead. Stepping into its glow, I encountered a figure with his back turned. An unspoken impulse drove me to follow. With long hair, dressed in a simple white robe and sandals, he turned with a welcoming smile, gesturing for me to draw near. Approaching him, a wave of ineffable joy and peace enveloped me. His presence felt familiar and comforting, erasing any sense of distance. He enfolded me in a reassuring embrace, sparking a reflective dialogue. Memories flooded my mind, recalling moments of pride from my college years. I reminisced about my volunteer endeavors, dedicating time to aid the elderly and children in my community. One memory shone brightly, walking alongside a frail grandmother, witnessing her smile despite her frailty, teaching me the fulfillment of serving others. Amidst feelings of pride, there was a shadow of shame. I recalled a time when I caved under academic pressure and resorted to cheating on a test. The weight of guilt pressed down on me as I faced my dishonesty. Turning to Jesus for solace, I braced myself for judgment, only to find forgiveness and understanding. Anxiously, I awaited his perspective on my actions. Breaking the silence, Jesus suggested we spend time together. We climbed a set of stairs to a serene setting where departed loved ones, including my father and grandfather, waded across a tranquil river. Our connection went beyond words, existing through a silent understanding. The idea of reuniting with them filled me with excitement, but Jesus advised patience. Continuing along the river, we stumbled upon a majestic building reminiscent of Greek architecture, housing a vast library of knowledge. People dressed in radiant white robes moved about, and Jesus explained its purpose. Intrigued, I browsed the shelves and stumbled upon a book filled with glowing, unfamiliar text. Jesus explained that the library contained diverse knowledge, some of which was beyond my current understanding, offering endless opportunities for learning and growth. Jesus handed me a book detailing the story of my life, showing every moment, both positive and negative. He assured me of his constant presence and love, presenting me with a choice to return to earth or stay with him. Although comforted by Jesus' presence, I hesitated to leave. I asked if I could see my family and suddenly witnessed them praying for me in a hospital room. Despite the emotional pull to stay with Jesus, I knew I had to return to earth, especially considering my mother's struggles as a single parent after my father's death. Jesus explained that returning would likely mean forgetting this encounter. In our conversation, I expressed my desire to return, and Jesus offered his support. Awakening in a hospital bed, I felt strengthened, knowing Jesus was by my side. After 12 days in the hospital, I returned home with a sense of purpose. Sharing my experience with my mother, I recounted my journey. Initially skeptical, she became serious when I described meeting my great-grandfather in heaven in detail, as I had never met him and there were no photos. This revelation convinced her of the authenticity of my experience, and she embraced the concept of heaven wholeheartedly.